I'm Jeff Matlow. Welcome to the best leadership podcast ever. Welcome back to the best leadership podcast ever, where every week we rethink your daily behaviors to help catapult your career. My name's Jeff Matlow. I'm a leadership coach. I help female executives and entrepreneurs overcome their self-doubt and become inspirational leaders. Can you feel it? I can feel it. So if you want to become a more inspirational leader, go to www.bytitleonly.com to learn more. And do we really need to say www anymore? I'm not going to. Starting now. You heard it first. No more www. John Randall Jr. was only 20 years old when he was hired to lay out the streets of Manhattan. He did it in the most sensible way possible, the way a child would understand. So in case you've been living in a cave outside Calcutta for the past 250 years, let me explain that most of New York City, or really just Manhattan, is arranged in a simple grid pattern. Almost every street is straight, and they're arranged perpendicular to each other like a piece of graph paper. Almost all of the streets are numbered in sequential order. So as long as you know how to count, you can pretty much find your way around New York. It's such a simple layout, I'm baffled why other cities didn't do the same thing, and honestly, I got a pretty tight 11-minute set on the whole topic, but I'm going to spare you my urban landscape rant for now. You're welcome. Another simple thing I love about New York City is the traffic light system. Yes, the traffic light system. As it turns out, they've mastered it. If you're driving on almost any of the north or southbound avenues, all of the traffic lights are synced. What I mean is that once one of the lights turns green, the next traffic lights down the road sequentially start turning green. You can actually fly through the blocks one after another without ever having to slow down. So in a city that can sometimes feel claustrophobic, this simple act feels like freedom. It makes me smile. I'm smiling just thinking about it right now. I want my life to be like that. I want life to be a series of green lights that seemingly never end. And this, conveniently, brings me around to you. I love it when that happens, don't you? You see, I've determined that there are three kinds of people in the world, and as it so happens, they are consistent with the colors of the traffic signal. Red lights, yellow lights, and green light people. Let me explain. First, there are the red light people. They are the ones who always bring things to an abrupt halt. Red light people seem to spend their lives looking for reasons to complain. Their behavior seems focused on stopping themselves and other people from moving forward. I find red light people really frustrating, but that's me. I'm sure you know a red light person or two. Inevitably, you probably worked with at least one of them. They're the ones who always think every idea is bad, but they can never come up with a better solution on their own. They seem to simply complain for the sake of complaining. That's just how a red light person works. Red light people continually use words like can't and won't. They aren't looking for answers to the questions, they're just complaining that the questions are unfair. The red light people get stuck at red lights and complain that they have all the bad luck. They say things like, I'm always the one that gets stuck here. As if they're the victim, as if they aren't responsible for their own attitude. And once the light turns green, they're just waiting for the next red light so they can say, see, I told you I always get red lights. Red light people make the yellow light people seem light and easygoing. So let's talk about the yellow light people. Because different than the red light people, yellow light folks aren't overly negative. They don't build barriers to block everybody, they just block themselves. The yellow light people aren't as much negative as they are cautious, but almost cautious to a fault. They live in fear that a red light is right around the corner. They want to avoid the red light, but they're too scared to go faster. So they move through life slowly and cautiously, always with one foot ready to slam on the proverbial brakes. Hypochondriacs, for instance, they're yellow light people. Those chained by self-doubt, they're yellow lighters too. In fact, in my executive coaching business, I work with a lot of yellow light leaders. Yellow light people want to get out of their comfort zone. They really do. They want to follow their dreams, but unfortunately, they quickly convince themselves the path isn't worth the risk. Yellow light people fear what happens on the other side of the comfort zone. They're intrigued by it, but they avoid it as if it were a monster hiding around the corner waiting to pounce. Whenever they start gaining positive momentum, the yellow light people tap on the brakes to slow down. Safety and security is everything for the yellow light person. When yellow light people are stuck at a red light, they hype themselves up. At the next green light, they say, I'm going to drive forward fast. But inevitably, the thought of getting out of their comfort zone is too much to handle. So when the light turns green, they move ahead in measured steps. But every once in a while, I see a yellow lighter break out of the pack and become a green light person. I want to live my life as a green light person. I want to follow the path that follows my passions. I want to grow and learn. I want to conquer my world and live every second like it will never happen again. And by the way, it won't. I want to get out of my comfort zone even though I'm really scared to do it sometimes. I want to expand my vision of myself and the world. I want to think with an open mind and know that I don't know all the things I don't know. And there's a lot of them that I don't know. I want to remember that the only struggles I can truly understand are mine. So I'm better off having empathy for everybody else, regardless of what corner they call home. I want to do everything I want to do, nothing less, nothing more. I have to admit, sometimes I drop back to the yellow light. I find myself living with hesitancy, afraid to press harder on the accelerator. But when I recognize I'm doing this, I push myself back to the green. I'm happiest and most fulfilled in the green. And when I'm sitting at a red light waiting for it to change, I try to stay calm. After all, every green light needs a red light respite. It helps us recharge so we can once again stream down that street, slipping through the series of green lights ahead with a smile on our faces and the feeling of freedom coursing through our veins. Here we all live our life by our own laws of the traffic light. The important thing to know is that you are the person you want to be, whatever light that may shine. You see, you are the one and the only one that decides the light in your life. You control the signal. Are you telling yourself the stories that stop you from taking chances? Are you moving forward with tentative steps and never hitting your stride? Are you always finding a reason to slow down? Or are you grasping onto the life you want to live and going for the green? Tell me, what color is your life? If you like this, please give it 5 stars. Click subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Thank you for listening to the Best Leadership Podcast ever. I appreciate you, my friend. I'll talk to you next time.